And what do you use the pH meter for? What's the correct pH reading you're looking for?
I'm not looking for a correct pH reading because I don't think there is one. But I know that it helps me keep track, like if I'm drinking an acid water or an alkaline water, I notice that I get more hydration off a slightly acid or neutral water than I do off an alkaline water. I notice that an alkaline water cleans my bloodstream a little bit more. So they're just different. I don't think one's better or another one's better. They're all therapeutic. And in the past, in the early 1900s, before the AMA became as big as it is now and actually pushed out all the other therapies and became what we call conventional medicine, there were many other therapies, like homeopathy, like herbalism. Allopathy was just one. And there was one called balneopathy, which was the study of sacred springs, basically, healing springs.
Right.
And so people would travel all over the world to go to different springs for different cures based on the mineralogy of the different waters. So, for instance, I just came from Colorado Springs, and it was an interesting story. I was walking through Colorado Springs saying, hey, this place is called Colorado Springs. Maybe there's a spring. I don't know. It didn't look like there would be one. And people told me, oh, you got to go next door to Manitou Springs. So we drove into Manitou Springs, and it's a town where every shop owner in the town has a map and a readout of the mineralogy of the water there. There's 9 springs that are all maintained by the town. Each one pours out of a statue. Each one is carbonated naturally from within the earth. 20,000-year-old fossil carbonated spring water, and each one tastes completely different. And so what you do is you go from spring to spring with a bottle, tasting each different water, and each water is known to heal a different thing. So there was an iron spring that heals anemia. There was a lithium spring which actually helps with depression and is a mood lifter, and it was kind of like a natural Prozac experience. So, you know, there's all, I mean, every spring is different. There's like, the mountain springs are typically known for healing arthritic problems or cancer problems and things like that.
Is there anything we should be wary of, like careful of, like certain springs to definitely avoid?
Usually a town will come in and close a spring if there's any kind of contamination to it. Typically they're monitored by people somewhere along the line, and so that's your first line of defense. But the thing that I've noticed for me is that after going to several springs, I start to just tune into myself, and I know if I think of a spring and I don't have a desire to go there, then there's something about that water that's just not working for me. And if I think about a spring and I really want that water, then I know that there's something that is working for me. Because I don't really think anyone understands mineralogy. Some people look at water and say, oh, there's too many minerals in it, this is a hard water. Well, they don't understand the therapeutic benefit of those minerals. And so they're not really fit to judge that. And they believe, if they believe that H2O is what water is, then to them that water is contaminated. But that's not necessarily the case. And so what we end up having to do with water like that is add minerals to it anyway, or add all these minerals into our body, or we end up putting things like MSM back into the water, which I know is in here, because this is run through the soil of the forest, right? So I know it's picked up all the things that I would want to have if I was a creature living in that biome. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah. Another thing that's interesting is you can sort of look at what kind of ecosystem the spring creates as it moves along. So it comes out of the ground and it starts to form a stream, which eventually kind of widens into a river. And you can look if it looks healthy or if there's a lot of bacteria proliferating in it, if that makes sense. If it looks slimy and gross and the plants are dead along the edges, then obviously it's not water you want to drink. But if it's flourishing, creating a forest, and the animals are there drinking out of it, and there's insects and what looks to you like higher order life forms, then it's probably a pretty good spring.